Dear Teroxx, welcome to our weekly crypto news market update video, and today we will talk about Bitcoin and if the Uptober is already over. Because Real Vision CEO Raoul Pal says that Q2 2024 is the way to go and not the Q4 of 2023. He said the next bull market will not be around the narrative of the halving, even if it's working. He said it's a false narrative. He's mostly saying the macro cycle is much more important and the macro factors will play the leading role in sparking the next uptrend, because he said in the last halving cycles we always had a monetary expansion and low interest rates, and right now we're having high interest rate and money is, so to speak, expensive. So macro is the dominant factor, and he will say in the next year the central banks will cut the interest rates and potential will do some fiscal stimulus. This coming with the potential approval of the Bitcoin spot ETFs and the halving can then lead to a huge push, but he said this is the way to watch the market and not to go with false narrative. And I think it's a pretty good view on the market and a realistic one. Nearly half of the crypto users invest to boost the living standard. This is quite interesting. We have a crypto exchange report by BitGet that 46 people in South Korea are investing into cryptos for leveling up their living standards. And the most significant financial goal is on top inspiration by others, and as well to pay for children's education and stuff like this. So all in all, people investing into this market for long term, not short term, and this is quite a fundamentally good view in the market. And 18% allocating between 50 and 100k, and 19% even more than 100k, which means that nearly 40% of the market investors are into with 6 digits, and this is quite a huge number, and it's showing how much money is flowing into the market by private households. This survey was done by over 1,500 participants in European Union, China, Japan, South Korea, Turkey, the US and Canada, so more or less the most important countries for digital assets. Basel said that the committee considered to disclose the requirements for banks' crypto assets. He said that it's clearly to see that a lot of banks that struggled in the first quarter of this year had huge concentrations on digital assets. And he as well said that significant client concentrations of digital asset companies put in a precarious position when the crypto winter hit in 2022. Now he wants to say, okay, all banks need to show their crypto assets and what they have in crypto to have analysis of the risk. For me personally, I think this statement is too easy, but it would be great to see how many banks are invested in digital assets, because then we would see how big this number is, and I think this as well would boost the market. Last but not least, the European regulator publishing a second consultation on MiCA. This time they want to have feedback on stakeholders' input for 5 leading topics: is the sustainability indicators for distributed ledgers, the disclosures of inside information, technical requirements for white papers, trade transparency measures, and record keeping for crypto asset service providers. So here, quite interesting, the next phase started, and with the good input from the stakeholders. And now here we can see by June 2024, there should be the final paper live. There will be a new package of feedback in Q1 2024. So MiCA is really going forward, and this is as well positive for the European Union to be the world leading nation or union for digital assets. We've seen that the market is quite red because of this Israel-Palestinian war that just started. Even if the numbers are not that deep in the red, we should be very, very safe in the market with a low risk, that you never know what happened next. And why it's so important that the European Union is the world leader in digital assets is because in the old financial world, the euro is going down when it comes to international payment method, and the US dollar is up. So as well here, the euro is free falling and is not very often used when instead of dollar. In Corona times, we were nearly pari, so this as well shows how the development is going on in these countries. The last 7 days were not positive for digital assets. Some held their levels like Bitcoin, others dropped, especially high cap altcoins dropped a lot like Ethereum. And as well, you can see it in the market cap, slightly negative. Will Bitcoin drop or rise? This is often asked. And what we can say is that Bitcoin is always going up with liquidity. When the federal funds liquidity is going up, Bitcoin is going up. It's always the same metric. Right now, we're hanging on a low liquidity level for quite a long time. And Bitcoin more or less went sideways in this area, how you can see over here. Some people are saying now, okay, we will see new liquidity and this will boost Bitcoin. Others are saying, no, we will stay on a low liquidity level for longer. And this, of course, would then force downtrends and sell-offs. So keep an eye on the liquidity. It's a good indicator for Bitcoin and digital assets. Because what we've seen in the last 7 days is from these levels of 28,500, as a lot of people thought, okay, next leg up is 30K. We are far away from this. We've seen one negative sell-off with a good support building line at 27,200. And then due to this Israeli conflict that is happening right now, we've seen negative Monday start. How we've seen the world markets are not that negative. So keep an eye on this. Either we're going down to this support and having a turnaround when the markets are green again, or we will rush through and go deep down to 26,500 or even lower, because this is what you can see. We have a good support at 26,800 or a low support down to 26,100 to 200. So what will happen next week? We've seen Bitcoin in consolidation phase again since 7 days. Keep an eye on this. If we're breaking down, we easily can go even lower. And this would mean that Bitcoin will touch lower support lines. If there comes slightly positivity, if we see that there is no new war in the countries I've spoke about, then I think the world markets will react quite positively, and then we can see a next leg up within the next day. But keep an eye on this and be very, very low risk trading in this market in the coming week. I hope you liked this video. If you do so, I would love you to comment, like, or share this video, and we will see you next time when it comes to weekly good news and market update provided by Teroxx.